Shelter German Shepherd dog gives birth, then vet realizes they're not puppies. You won't believe what happened when a starving German Shepherd gave birth in a cold corner of the county animal shelter. The vet expected puppies, but what she saw made her drop her pen and whisper, "That's impossible." What they discovered inside the dog would change everything, because these weren't just pups. They were proof that love can survive even after death. Before we start, make sure to hit like, share, and subscribe. And really, I'm curious, where are you watching from? Drop your country name in the comments. I love seeing how far our stories travel. Rain fell steadily over Pine Hollow Animal Shelter that night, cold, relentless. Dr. Lia Chen was closing up when the call came. "Found a stray," said the officer. "German Shepherd, barely moving, looks pregnant." When they carried her in, wrapped in a soaked blanket, Dr. Chen knew instantly. This dog had been abandoned for weeks. Ribs pressed against thin fur. One ear bent from an old injury. But her eyes, amber, alert, held something unexpected. Not fear, dignity. She didn't growl, didn't flinch, just watched as they cleaned her wounds and moved her to the quiet room. "She's close," Dr. Chen told her assistant. "We'll stay with her." By midnight, labor began. The storm outside roared. Lights flickered. But the dog, now named Hope, remained calm, focused, as if she'd done this before. The first newborn slipped free, small, slick, breathing. Dr. Chen rubbed it gently, then paused. Something was off. The coat wasn't black or tan, it was silver gray. And the markings, a white star on the forehead, a single black tear beneath the left eye. Just like Valor. Dr. Chen froze, her breath caught. No. Valor had died 6 months ago. A K-9 hero, killed in the line of duty, his body buried beside his handler at the memorial park. She checked the second pup, same coloring, same scar along the hind leg, identical to the one Valor got during a rescue mission. Third pup, fourth, fifth. All bore the same rare pattern. All looked exactly like a dog who no longer existed. The staff whispered. One nurse crossed herself. Another stepped back, shaking her head. "This isn't possible," the assistant said. "These aren't mixed breeds. This is a purebred German Shepherd litter, and every one looks like Valor." Dr. Chen knelt beside Hope. "You knew him, didn't you?" she whispered. Hope turned her head slowly, looked at her, and blinked once. The old signal. "I see you." Because here's what no one knew. Hope hadn't just lived near the police station. She'd been there, every morning, waiting by the gate. For months after Valor died, she came, sat silently, watched the new recruits train, followed the officers with quiet eyes. They thought she was lost, but she wasn't. She was grieving. And somehow, through instinct, through memory, through a bond science can't explain, she had carried pieces of him forward. Not genetically, not biologically, but spiritually. Because some souls don't end with death. They wait, they return, they come home in ways we never expect. Dr. Chen took photos, ran DNA tests. The results came back. No direct lineage, no shared blood. Yet the resemblance was undeniable. Each pup moved like Valor, stood like him, even barked with the same deep, protective tone. One evening, Officer Daniel Reyes visited, Valor's former partner. He brought flowers to the memorial, saw the news online, came to see for himself. When he walked into the shelter, the 5 puppies were playing in the yard. But one stopped, looked up, walked straight to him, pressed its head against his knee. Daniel dropped to one knee, tears filled his eyes. "That's how Valor greeted me," he whispered, "every single day." He reached out, the puppy licked his hand. Not random, not instinctive. Recognizing. Word spread. Not as a conspiracy, not as a scandal, but as a miracle. People came, not to buy, not to exploit, but to witness. Veterinarians studied the pups. Biologists called it phenotypic mirroring, when grief shapes biology in unseen ways. But those who loved Valor, they knew better. This wasn't science. It was love refusing to let go. 3 months later, Daniel adopted the lead pup. named him Valor 2, not as a replacement, as a continuation. The other 4 went to families connected to first responders, firefighters, medics, EMTs, who had lost their own companions. And Hope? She stayed at the shelter, guardian now, matriarch. Every morning she sits by the gate, waits, watches. Sometimes, when the wind blows just right, she lifts her muzzle to the sky and howls, a long, soft note that echoes across the fields. Not mournful, triumphant, because sometimes the ones who leave us are the ones who find their way back. But this story wasn't over. Years later, footage aired of Hope sitting beside a suicidal veteran, refusing to leave until the man put the gun down. The caption read, "He was built to fight, but he chose to love." A school teacher showed the video to her class. One student asked, "Can animals forgive humans for hurting them?" The teacher smiled. Sometimes they're the only ones who remember how. Back at home, Dr. Chen started a foundation, Valor's Light, to support trauma survivors and train therapy dogs for children in crisis. Within months, they placed over 50 dogs with families whose lives had been changed by violence, loss, or PTSD. Each one had a story. Each one had been forgotten, until someone remembered. One evening, as snow fell outside, Dr. Chen sat by the fire, reading letters from families whose lives had been changed by rescued canines. Hope lay at her feet, breathing slow, peaceful. She placed a hand on her head. "We did good, sister," she said softly. Hope nudged her hand, tail thumping once. Not joy, peace. Because some bonds don't end with death. They wait in silence until love finds them again. And sometimes the most broken among us carry the purest purpose. If this story touched your heart, type Amen in the comments if you believe God sends angels with paws. Share it with someone who needs hope today. And don't forget to subscribe for more true stories of courage, loyalty, and second chances. Because sometimes the ones the world throws away are the ones who save it. May the Lord bless every heart that watches this, every soul in need, and every creature who refuses to give up on love. You help us continue to celebrate these incredible bonds of healing and hope. And your next journey with us is ready to begin, right now in the news story appearing on your screen.